Hey everybody, welcome back to Fix the Rust Bucket, where we're continuing on with the teardown of the 88 Ford Bronco. We still have a lot of parts to remove from the truck just so we can see how deep the rust went, so let's get right into this. So after we completed the last video of taking the back end of the truck, the back end of the truck apart and removing the padding and all that stuff, my son and I were sitting there looking at the truck, and the rust goes pretty deep on the vehicle. Also, the interior panels on the truck are sun faded, damaged, and scratched up. I think they're almost to the point of not being able to be repaired. So we did make a decision. We did change a little bit up on what we're going to do. The interior, I'm not sure about the dashboard yet, but the interior is going to be a complete redo of some type of a custom interior. We're not sure what it's going to be. Probably not going to be reusing the seats like I said we wanted to. We were going to reupholster them or something. We're just going to change everything up on the inside of the truck. As for the outside, we're still going to try and keep the outside of the truck looking original, but the rust is so deep inside and outside that we're going to be replacing a lot. At least so far now, we already know we're going to be replacing the full rear quarters and the bed, if you want to call it, of the Bronco, which I'll show you in a little while. When we get this torn apart, we'll go over everything again. The rust is pretty deep inside there, so I think we're just going to go ahead and start replacing complete parts instead of patching here and a patch here and a patch there. There's gonna be so many patches, it's gonna be almost brand new to begin with. We'll see. After we get it down to the shell, we'll probably have a better idea of how much we have to replace on the truck. Right now, we already know the back end's got a lot of work to be done on it. So I'm gonna continue on with taking apart the truck. I'm gonna fast forward through a lot of it. The dashboard's gonna take some time. We'll get the seats torn out, get the floor mat out of there, and we'll look at the floor. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and put some music on, listen to some music, and we'll kind of fast forward through all this stuff. So with the doors and the seats out of the way, we're going to continue on removing this junk out of here. We'll get the mat up off the floor, see what the floor looks like and how bad the rust is. All right, so while I'm removing this stuff, I want to mention a channel, a good friend of mine's channel. And if you see this hat, I've been wearing this hat since I started the Fix the Rust Bucket channel. Josh pretty much got tired of the way the food was being made and raised. So he went and started a 150-acre first-generation farm with 100% grass-fed beef, along with showing people a healthy way to raise food for themselves and a ton of other stuff. I mean, his channel covers so much. Josh has a very successful channel, the Stoney Ridge Farmer. Josh does everything from, I believe I just said it was from farming, raising vegetables in a garden, raising chickens. He teaches you so much. Also, maintenance on farm equipment, side-by-sides, four-wheelers, and he has a love and a passion for vehicles as well. He has everything from Tool Tuesdays, he does something on Mondays, I don't even remember what that is, Food Fridays, he shows you how to cook some food, tries things out. He's not afraid to tell you what works and what doesn't work. So at the end of the video, go down in the description, click on the link to his channel, leave him a comment, tell him Chris from Fix the Rust Bucket sent you. You won't be disappointed, I promise you that. There's so much going on at his farm. There's something for everybody. Back to the truck. So in the earlier video, when we first started tearing the truck down, breaking everything down in the back end here, I do believe I had mentioned that we were going to keep all the interior original or keep as much original parts as possible on it. Goodness. Since then, after we took the back end out and we were looking at, could look a little bit harder into the stuff, we don't like the red. The panels are beyond worn out, sun faded, dried out. We're going to go ahead and completely redo this interior with a whole new interior. But we're going to be going with a black interior with blue accents to it, blue stitching and some other things. Not everything is set in stone yet, but I do know we're going to get rid of all the red stuff and go black and blue on the inside. And that, I think, is going to be the final color of the outside of the truck too when we're done. So, subject to change, but that's where we're at now with this. So pretty much, we're not saving anything. Door panels, these panels, the seat belts, everything in here except for the dashboard is going in the trash. We're going to get rid of it and start new, fresh, over. I guess somebody got tired of reaching down between the seats to get the seat belt. They screwed this into the side of the panel. There you go. That's just how brittle all this interior is. It's just falling apart. old speaker wires. And we'll get the padding out now. Let's get this out of here and make sure there's no more crumbs underneath of it. So one more part and then we'll take a look at the floor. Get these out of the way. Get all the old rubber seals out of the way. Guess better. Guess it'd be easier to do it if I got rid of these. That one. Trash. Okay, so with the mat out, we've exposed the passenger side, and it does have, again, floor pans rusted here and here. There's some, it looks like it's gone through, or it's starting to go through over in these spots. We'll poke it later and check to see how bad it is. The rocker seems to be a little more solid than the driver's side one, but just gonna replace it. You see right here, there's a lot of heavy rust flaking off. This right here. Behind the seats, where again, when I pulled that mat just out, there was water sitting there, so I wanna say it's solid, but it's rusty. Is it solid enough to maybe sand it down and clean it up? Well, that's to be determined. The center, the transmission hub here, that does seem to be pretty solid on both sides. I'm not too concerned up here where the dashboard meets the firewall. That's usually not a problem on a vehicle unless it was submerged in water. Passenger side, we've got to get underneath of it and take a look. We might be able to just patch some of this. Depends on how bad it is underneath. Now, I did just notice just now, this is pushed up. So I don't know what that's from. I don't know if somebody stuck a jack or something underneath it here. It lifted the truck up, but the floor is punched up, so kind of leaning towards, we're just going to replace it. These corners where the seat belts are at, they're all rusted out and gone. So we've got a lot in the back here to replace. More than likely, I mean, the back wasn't too bad, but there are spots that are all the way through. It's going to take 10, 15 different patches to repair the damage, which is underneath of all that junk right now. Same thing here, a bunch of patchwork, and I'm not going to do patchwork. I'll just order the whole part. We'll put a whole new part in and give us another 30 some years on the truck or longer. So that's where we're at with that. I'm going to go ahead and start working on the dashboard here, see if we can get that out. It's 10 to 1 in the morning. Got what I could get done when I got home from work today. I'm exhausted. We'll get back into this again tomorrow. I'm not really sure. There's a lot of tedious work to be done. There's just oddball things that don't make any sense over the years. Things just got put together. So I got a lot of oddball things to take apart. All right, so I'm done. All right, so that is going to wrap it up for this video. I will probably do just a time lapse. Tomorrow I'm going to get started again on this front end. A lot of small screws that are rusted out, or nuts and bolts that the heads are rusted off. Probably going to have to start cutting things off, or it's just going to be a fight. Probably put up the cameras. I'll do a time lapse of everything and we'll add it to the next video. Hopefully in the next video I will have all of this out. I'm hoping to have this front end apart. It'll be just the shell. Have this whole front end torn down, the drive line pulled out, maybe a few things here and there that has to be pulled off. We can start actually looking at the body. We do have some parts already ordered coming in for the body on the back end, and we'll figure out what we need for the front end. If you want to follow along with this project, this is going to be a complete brand new truck by the time we're done with it. That's what it's looking like we're going to be doing with it. Subscribe to the channel right here. And in the meantime, check out some of my other videos.